What's up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is Friday, the 18th of November, 2016. How are you doing? You're on the backside of your week, y'all. You completed your week and getting ready to roll into your weekend. I congratulate you there. But first, I want to throw this disclaimer out. See, this video right here will not be about spiritual dialogue. This is about the social and human experience as a human being. Oh yes, see, my head grows. You can't be sitting up here telling me, oh, Gerald, I gotta run out there to the store and take part of my check to put a false identity out there when you can do the work. Do the work because you are what everything is given comes from within yourself, y'all. That's what's got to be nurtured. But that's not the reason why I'm putting this video out today. And I was really hoping somebody, no matter where they're from, would speak on it. And what I'm talking about is, first of all, like I said, let me throw this out there. Disclaimer. That means Gerald gonna speak some truth with some words that come from within myself. And this may offend. It may wake you up. It may bring attention to some things that you may not have been privy to. So if you're looking for a spiritual message out of this, which it probably will be embedded in there, but Gerald's going to say what Gerald needs to say. So I'm just letting you know. And if you're feeling what I'm saying, or you understand what this video is about in the end, give me a thumbs up. And if you disagree, thumbs down. And if it makes a difference to someone, of course, like with all my videos, share them. Each one teach one. Remember, community. You can't have community until you unite yourself. That means you got to look at those things that you feel insecure about, which means you have to find a place where you can finally stand so you can deal and sift through everything that has been holding you back from what you deserve. That's the greatest form of slavery ever for mankind, is getting past that pride. Because you know that pride is fueled by your fear. You know, finally everything's a reality. Yeah. But you know what baffles me? Baffles me is the fact that there are people getting the butt of the joke, getting the false accolades when they think they're getting support. So what is he talking about? Okay. Because like I said, I got to take the spiritual out of it and talk as the man. Why is it? You do understand? Okay. Do you realize if we had a foreign threat, we would not be ready? I don't care where they're from. If there was a threat that wanted to come here, we would not be ready. Even though they sit up here, propaganda. You gotta love propaganda because propaganda always wants to put the trump card and say, yeah, we're prepared, but really, we're not. We haven't for quite some time because you constantly are allowing people that should stay and teach, getting them up out of there. And you're implementing things and policies that will have a more detrimental effect down the road. And that's the part that scares me, y'all. See, I'm trying, as you can tell, I'm really, really trying not to let my temperament consume this video. Because what I really want to say, it's not good. So I'm trying to use my brain before I use my mouth. But bear with me. Yeah, that's right. My hair is naturally curly. That's how it is when it grows. Somebody like, look at this. I know somebody gonna say, look at his hair. Why is it? Because if I throw some jojoba oil on it, it'll look like I got a Jerry curl. See, that was some things that I had to deal with when I was young because being a very light-skinned child, I had to deal with I had to deal with racism from my own community. I did. I had to fight all the time, you know? And, still to this damn day, that ideology still exists. We still have that toxic, I swear it's got to be demonic. Still to this day in our own community, light-skinned people and dark-skinned people choose to allow their tone to divide them culturally. Wow. We can easily say, well, you know what, Gerald, that's a byproduct of white supremacy. We can play that card. We didn't heard everybody and the mamas and talk about, well, this. No, that's part of it. It is. And just like rain coming off the top of a roof and it hits, eventually it makes its way down to the soil. It affects everything. But you know what's got me really concerned? And work with me, y'all, because my train of thought is scattered right now. And I'm trying real hard because right now I'm really disappointed because I see something socially in our social climate that's going under the radar. Ain't nobody spoke on it. Ain't nobody spoke on it yet. And I'm wondering why? Why is it? Okay. The reason I'm upset is the fact that, haven't you noticed that as the years go by, the campaign to dumb down the masses increases? The generations that come are ill-equipped. They don't see the importance not only of what makes them unique, but the foundation that it comes from and how sacred it is. And I started to notice these last 4 or 5 years, you got a lot of social organ grinding going on. You know, for those who don't know what an organ grinder was, even though it was before my time, but historically, in your major cities, there would be this man. He had an organ that he would grind, and it would make a tune. And he would have a little pet do tricks so that they would give him donations. And it used to be 9 times out of 10, it used to be a little monkey. He would dress a little monkey up. The monkey would probably do little stunts, and he would make his little money, throw the little monkey in his little cage, and book on. Well, slowly but surely, socially, people have gone back into that bag. And I'm gonna tell you how it crept back in there, because when you go back 6 years ago, I won't say 6, I'll say 10, at least 10. You started seeing people put clothes on their dogs, clothes on their pets. They got that from because of that organ grind putting clothes on that little monkey. And that was nothing but a derivative of what? The circus, the carnival, the spectacle. And then it got to a point it was just acceptable because it was deemed a distractor. It was deemed entertainment. It was deemed value. But see, I don't have to talk to you about racism. You know racism exists. Because some of your most some of your strongest effects of racism is done covertly. And it's done in your own damn community. But people don't speak on that. They just water it down. They've accepted it from, well, it's just social dynamics, Gerald. You know, some who have and those who don't. Okay. Doesn't make it right. Because, see, they've gotten smart these days. They've always been smart. And they said, well, you know what? I ain't going to call you outright like this, but I will put a price point there. And if you can swing that, then we can talk. But now they know that, hey, now Jerome can afford a mortgage. They know that little Shay, she can go out and buy pretty much what she wants and have no ridicule. But now, I saw something today that kind of pissed me off. And I'll be honest with you. The millennial generation, you're not prepared for life. You're not. And the failures of millennials is the byproduct of Generation Xers, which is me. Which is me, my generation. And we were taught by who? The baby boomers. I used to always say, you know, I'm gonna be nervous if I'm blessed to see the age of 75. Because I don't know what the moral structure or the moral compass is gonna look like. But it don't look good now, and I do it. Yeah, this is getting on my nerves too. But I gotta shed some light on it. things that we should have took offense to. We just smile. We show our teeth. And we act like it has no effect. And little do you know, the same people that operate on the same system that has gone to the roots, because it's always perpetuated through the generations, they're using it right before you and you don't even see it. So I saw that Shirley Caesar Vine that's out there, and you got those millennials out there dancing, right? What they think is dancing, but it's not. And this is not no shade on dance, because let's call a spade a spade. Everything derived from one continent. Everything. Even though there are going to be plenty of people that sits up there and say, well, my genealogy is from over here, but guess what? You need to learn about the effects of recessive genes. But it came from one source. The sooner you come to accept it, the better off you'll be. Because guess what? He said it. We are his children. He made us in his image. And it is explained time and time again. But you wrestle with that. Because I know the truth. I'm comfortable in my truth. But you know, what upset me about the expression was you never hear anybody say where it came from. No one's questioned it. No one's spoken, but they're quick to do it. And they're proud. So let me share some light on that. If you hear some distortion in the background, it's because the jets are flying. And I also know that, yeah, the devil's a liar, because somebody's going to take what I'm about to say and internalize it. And that ain't nothing but a distraction. But you're not going to break my truth on this. See, these expressions that have been evolving through the last 4.5 years is nothing but celebration of what the dance of expression that was found in the juke joints, which was nothing but a derivative of the dance expression done by the sharecropper. But you didn't know that, did you? The part where you do the that was because that person had that heavy bale of hay or whatever it was to throw it on top of the mound. He couldn't go but so far because 9 times out of 10, he had something on his feet. So he had to force the energy to throw it on top so it could count. The clicking of the bottom torso of the movement. You know why they did that? Because back then, women who had high skirts, high dresses, because back then the women had to wear long dresses and they wanted to breathe down there. But people don't know that. This is all but glorification of the slave experience, y'all. That's what it is. Now, I ain't got to tell you the power of music, the power of the drum, because we already know where music came from and the expression thereof. But what I find funny is there are so many people that don't want to see you successful. They just want you to be looked at as entertainment, to not be taken serious, to willfully be disfranchised from your dreams. So they're going to keep allowing you to dance. Go ahead, dance. Go ahead, show your teeth. Go ahead and shine, because that's exactly what they are doing. That's why the music keeps getting made the way it is. Why? Because there's somebody sitting somewhere making a whole lot of money off of your attention span. See, to know where you're going, you have to know your history. But to understand your past, you have to be willing to know you. That means you got to be honest with yourself. You have to make the decision to fortify and invest in your identity. You realize there are 50% of people on this planet do not have a clue who they are. And they base their decision making off of impulse. So does it surprise you that when it's time to add up, they're always short? Everything coincides, y'all. Everything. Even democracy. The way things were handled this political race. They already knew, because they had strategists on both sides of the gate. And they knew one thing for sure. They're going to have a percentage of people that are going to be eyes on. They're going to have a percentage of people that are not going to even care. And they're going to have a whole majority that are going to be moved off of image. So they tried to capitalize on that. That's why you always saw the poster child or representatives of certain demographics be placed right in front of you to send a nonverbal cue of accept. But nobody's talking about that. The only thing they're doing is being socially sore losers. Because that's what it's about. You got your feelings hurt. But the real question should be why? Because you had to choose between this option A or option B. But if you just took the second to research, you had 18 months to do it. You would have been surprised. Now, there are going to be people that are going to hold a certain perspective, and they're going to be passionate about why they feel the way they do. And you're entitled to that. But just make sure whatever your position, it doesn't disrespect you. For example, if do you actually believe that if they wanted to stop sensationalizing the way women are portrayed in society, they could zero that out in one day if they wanted to. But they won't, because they can make a whole lot of money off of it because you don't demand it. And actually, you perpetuate it more with your bad behavior. Yeah, every time you turn up, bust it open, they turn around and say, "Well, that's the reason why we're not going to take you serious." And they throw you little coins because they'll know that you're going to do it again. They're not going to invest in you, but they will gladly exploit you. Doesn't matter what shade of brown you are. See, I don't know about y'all, but if you are blessed thus far to see the age of 30, great. But if you've been fortunate enough to see the age of 35, I ask you to look back and tell me the same things that we said was no, was offensive. Why is it accepted now? Why? We quickly throw the N bomb and every other derogative word you can every time a coin drops. They just said, well, that's okay. We'll just change up the tone. We'll just add a beat to it. Well, I just put a pretty face and they'll swallow it because they know that as long as you don't give a damn about you, they're gonna keep. They don't have to change. They don't have to change. The funny thing is, I said this a long time ago. If your elders were able to come back just for a moment, yeah, how about your grandmother, your granddad, that significant person that has passed on, and they were able to contact you and spend a moment, would they embrace you with a hug or would they beat you down with a switch? Some people can't answer that question because they know the truth. They know they don't even deserve to have their last name because they don't defend it. They don't understand the struggles that some went through. And and that's 50% blame from your parents too. Because some of our parents put their pride over their truth and didn't reveal what needed to be revealed so you could see the importance of your generation. And it's sad. Meanwhile, you have people that will never know you, that are making money off of your self respect. They see you as the joke, no different than that little monkey attached to that chain to that organ grinder. And you know what's funny? Figuratively, I can speak for the black community, some that would choose to be honest. When I was coming up, they told us, stop showing your teeth. Because those who did not have the diversity in their community, they looked at us as the Sambo, the Jigaboo. And don't think that conversations like that don't occur. They happen still. It's just more PC about it. So imagine what the dialogue is going to be in the next 4 years, because there is also a false negative, a false narrative getting ready to go down. And I told you, this is all about the ant and the grasshopper, because the mask is coming off. And what's going to be required is for you to finally stand up on your feet and claim your life. Because if you don't, well, you have to live with it for the rest of your life. The only difference is you got less time. You have less time. You don't want to be in your 50s and say, well, you know what? I played for 30 years. I got nothing to show for it. It was the man. No, it was you. It was you. And we all know that there's somebody that is still doing the same thing that they were doing when you met them. You couldn't even talk them out of it. Had more loyalty on a plot of property that they never owned. You never owned it. But there's been more blood spilled on it, only to be sold to someone else. So when I see these millennials out here with the mindset of everything's okay, life's a party, life's a dream, I'm gonna tell you right now, you keep thinking that your life is nothing but a party, well, guess what? You're gonna pay because you ain't prepared. And all your hopes and dreams are gonna be diminished. Because you know there's that thing called life. You're gonna have to grow up. You're gonna have to grow up. And it's sad because now more than ever, and we saw this in the early 80s, but it's ultra, it's on a hyper level of babies having babies now. There's no parental guidance there. Why? Because mama ain't grown up yet. Mama's in the club. But you can't say nothing to mama because grandma sitting at the table. But both are yelling in unison how daddy ain't shit. We are what we attract, y'all. We are what we attract. But can we change it? You're damn right we can. When you decide to give a damn about yourself, stop making excuses for your fears. Because let's be honest. Your friends ain't your friends. They just trying to find a way. They trying to find a way for the next opportunity to come. That's why they keep coming and going. I mean, come on. Come on, Queen. Don't you think you're a little tired of using the same excuse of all men are dogs? Aren't you tired of it? Oh, I know you are because that's why you with Sheila now. But Sheila gonna do you worse than Tommy did. Because we teach people how to treat us. You do understand that. If you don't have a dialogue with yourself, how can you have a dialogue with the person across the way? Hmm? Hmm? So you think that the people sitting on the hill is going to be able to relate to your struggle, to your setback? Sure, unless it's on a Lifetime movie. But secretly, I don't give a damn about that. They ain't got to relate. They just keep it pushing, keep it moving, and use your downfall as an example to their children. See, that's why I told you. See how they do? You think those conversations are not going on? And don't get it twisted if you think it's because of this race and that race when there's only one race called the human race. Oh, no. Mm-mm. Shaquan, Shaquan can't stand you. But Shaquan comes from the same environment. Only separates you and her is the fact that she had a strategy to hijack him. But anything that is not blessed will fall. All you have to do is watch. You don't have to do anything. And that's usually how wisdom comes about, by way of example, through insight. How about humility? Hmm? So you can't have faith without humility. But you can't have faith, you can't have humility if you don't know who you are. How are you going to sit up here and say, no one gets me when you don't get you? See, I'm sending this out to somebody because, truth of the matter, you're burning the candles too thin. I understand. You see what you see on TV, and you see what you see on the blogs, and you see what you see on the magazine covers, and you say, I want to be just like them. I got that. That's how propaganda works. The sole purpose is to get the impressionable to do what? Support it. Somebody got to get paid somehow, even if it's lies. Imagine what the world would be like if we actually gave a damn about each other, starting with ourselves. Hmm? We'd actually have news that was good. You know, we'd actually have peace. But you're going to have millions of people from the past to the present to the future that's going to be saying, I want peace. But really, they're just saying rhetoric. They're just saying it because it's good. It sounds good, but they don't want to invest in it. They don't want to invest in it because there's no money in it. Well, they won't tell you that. They won't. And that is why those who aspire to be celebrities, you see this. Every year there's someone new, younger, more impressionable, and willing to push the marker of disrespect. And just like a car, after its shine has diminished, it gets replaced. Got to. Got to keep the money coming in. That's why you hear people say, well, what she won't do, she will. You think that's by chance? No. Because here's my spiritual insert. The devil's winning on that. He loves the fact that you don't give a damn. He loves that. He loves the fact that you just turn around and throw your life, just throw your health out there like it isn't nothing. And he wants you to continue to have that mindset so that when those diseases come, you can have the same mindset too. But just know this, love is nowhere in the mix. And that's free will too, because it's a choice that it isn't. So that is why I always echo this. The person, the happiest person in the club isn't in the club. It's the club owner. And you can't find them. And they laughing all the way to the bank. But let's go back to what I was saying earlier about these dances. I believe one day the world will one day put a perspective and give credit and acknowledgement from where it came. And in the same process, the things that do not put us in good light and dialogue that should be taking place will. That's going to require a lot of truth, a lot of transparency, and a lot of fortitude, because you might not realize this, but do you realize that there was somebody taking note on the cause and effect of the election process? But they even looked a little more for the protests, because a lot of y'all got duped. And they let y'all know on that, because I understand uh, you have every right to not have faith in the media. You have every right, especially when it comes to our uh, our news outlets. It's been debunked so many times that a lot of that's scripted, and they are taught to convey a message that doesn't come from your local area, especially the major stuff that comes from the big boys. Yeah, somebody sitting down writing it up with an agenda to influence your perspective. Because see, they know one thing for sure. This right here, that beautiful mind, is endless revenue. And as long as they're able to tap into it, you might as well open up your wallet, open up your purse, give up that PIN number so that they can take whenever they want. And see, they get that by your support. They do. And they know that some of y'all not even going to give a damn about that either. And you're just going to live for the moment, because that's how you are conditioned. And that's really sad. It's really, really sad. It's no surprise for those who are millennials. If you were born in the 90s, take a word of the wise. Learn your history. Learn all of your history. The good, the bad, and how it has molded your lineage. And don't be afraid to ask the questions. Maybe some of those answers won't come from this. Maybe some of those answers may come by way of nonverbal expression. See, truth has a way of telling you what you need. But the kicker is, will you be courageous to see it? So I'm just blown away. Some of the Generation Xers know what I'm talking about. I remember there was a time where a person would just roll by and they got their stereo going in their car, and people would, whatever it was, but they kept it moving. Now, people drop what they're doing and break out into this you guys don't even realize they disrespecting you. You don't even see it. And I don't expect the other cultures to understand that, because we set the tone. We've always set the tone. Why? Because we're the original man. Creation was where? You're damn right. So guess what? That's the epicenter. The ripples go out all around the world. Why is that? because we're God's children. Hope you guys have a blessed weekend. But just know, because they look like you, don't mean they have your best interest. And I'm telling you, the stakes are high, and the prey is your children. Really, when you think about it, it makes me think about that fairy tale of the Pied Piper. Remember, he had a tune to play and lured the children away. Maybe that's the reason why they're coming up missing every day. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You get no props. You don't get, you get no props. You get no praise in being the fool. And guess what, millennials? They got you dancing. Place God first. Claim your life back.